special guest today here on the WHIP airwaves. His name is John Clark. The man works at Comcast Sports and as an anchor and reporter. He's also a reporter at NBC10, and he, most importantly, is a Temple grad. John, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I owe everything to Temple, so I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, it's good to have you. John, we see you at Eagles practice a lot. Let's jump right into it. Jason Peters, what's his status this week?
Well, he's questionable. He's officially questionable. He did not participate in the walkthrough today, and that's a bad sign because a walkthrough is, pretty simple. It's a walkthrough, and he was limited at practice yesterday, and did not practice the day before that. So I think it's going to go right up to game time as it did this past week. And as you saw, he didn't play at the last minute, and Lane Johnson was even wondering up until game time where he was going to play, left tackle or right tackle. So I think Jason Peters' status is up in the air right up until game time.
Okay, so Jason Peters is up in the air right until game time. We've heard some rumbles about Connor Barwin being probable. What's his status?
Yeah, I mean, he has a little issue with his quad, but I think he's going to play. And Chip Kelly earlier in the week said he thought he was going to play, and Chip normally doesn't do that. Normally he doesn't discuss injuries very much. But I think Connor Barwin should be good to go. It's fascinating because Chip Kelly says he still doesn't know the status, or at least yesterday didn't know the status of Sam Bradford's shoulder, even though Sam Bradford had an MRI. So Sam Bradford is not going to play this week. He's out. So obviously he's still in the concussion protocol, but the shoulder is probably going to keep him out as well. So I doubt you'll see him in the Thanksgiving game either.
Do you think he could possibly come back in a few weeks, Sam Bradford?
Yeah, I think he can. But what if the Eagles win 2 games here, and then they're heading to New England? I don't know.
Now, should we be asking you that question, John? You should be the one telling us that. What are your thoughts on that, if that's the case, if Sanchez is able to pull out 2 wins or at least play well and have Chip Kelly's version of the offense where we've seen a different type of offense, slowed down, so, a little bit better pacing with DeMarco Murray and Bradford in there. Sanchez can run that up-tempo. Do you think Chip would like to stick with that if it succeeds in the next 2 games?
Well, Chip has said that Sam Bradford is his starting quarterback, so I don't think he would say that publicly. And then when Sam Bradford is healthy, he doesn't put him back in there. But if Mark Sanchez does really, really well these next 2 games, and considering the opponent, the New England Patriots, if Sam Bradford is coming back off his injury and his concussion, and he doesn't have a full week of practice, do you really want him going out there on the road at New England, or would you ride with the hot hand? So it'll be a real interesting situation because Chip Kelly he's already put it out there that Sam Bradford is his starting quarterback when he's healthy.
Yeah, that's asking a lot to have Bradford against New England coming off another injury. Last season, Mark Sanchez had 14 touchdowns, 11 picks, and 3 fumbles. That's, an even touchdown-to-turnover ratio. I don't think that's really cutting it. I hope that Bradford gets healthy. And it could have been a lot worse. I mean, he could have been out for the season. So you feel fortunate as a Birds fan to the fact that we're in this position right now. Now, going back to Sanchez, him and DeMarco Murray had some issues, chemistry issues, handing the ball off in the last game. Now, Ryan Matthews is out. That's just another tear for the Eagles. He's been there, he's been pretty great for them, frankly, in limited touches. What have you seen in practice as far as chemistry between DeMarco Murray and Mark Sanchez?
Well, they're definitely working on the handoff. They're also working on the zone read play, where maybe they'll have that a little bit more than they've had with Sam Bradford, where the defensive end is the guy that the quarterback reads to see where he's going and what he's doing. And then maybe a couple times Mark Sanchez might tuck it and run because that is something that they want the defense to have to think about. You saw Marcus Mariota last night, and he runs the zone read perfectly, and you saw him score a touchdown. So I do think that Mark Sanchez and DeMarco are getting on the same page as far as a handoff is concerned. And then I think you might see a couple more zone read plays just to keep the defense honest. That's something you can't do with Sam Bradford. There's no threat with Sam Bradford to do that, but there's a little bit of a threat with Mark Sanchez since he's more mobile and can move with the ball better.
And speaking of the offense, Darren Sproles came out this week and it was a bit under the radar that he said he's pretty unhappy with his touches right now. What do you expect to see from him in the offense this coming weekend and going forward, where if he's expressing his unhappiness, that's not good for Chip Kelly's culture that he's been shoving down our throat for 3 years, don't you think?
Yeah, look, I mean, you saw it during Andy Reid. I mean, there were different guys who were unhappy with their amount of touches and the amount of times they ran the ball. I mean, remember Brian Westbrook had some concerns. Deuce Staley had concerns. I mean, these guys want the ball. That's the tough thing when you have three very good running backs. And this week, without Ryan Matthews, you better see a lot more with Darren Sproles. And, Chip Kelly has said that the only player he's had in his time as Eagles coach that's gotten double teamed is Darren Sproles. So the thing to me is, if Darren Sproles is getting double teamed, it's got to open it up more for the receivers, don't you think? So that's kind of curious to me. I'm wondering how come it hasn't been able to open it up more for the receivers. So I think, though, you're going to see Darren Sproles in this game a lot more. It's perfect timing for him with Ryan Matthews being out. And I would like to see him utilized in the passing game a lot more, especially out of the slot.
Yeah, Darren Sproles is a fantastic decoy. I mean, you could just have him on the field, and the defense is going to key him no matter what. He's so deadly, especially on that wheel route. But I was talking with somebody the other day, and this is the beauty of sports talk radio or just even talking sports at a bar. You always get different perspectives. And they mentioned how Sanchez seems to be exposing the receivers. Jordan Matthews took a lick last game on the sideline. I was wondering, what have you seen out of Sanchez in practice to I guess, set his feet more and have more crisp throws? Granted, it was his first game back, but what have you seen?
Well, that was an issue with Sam Bradford earlier in the season, where Sam Bradford was not setting his feet and was not stepping into the throws as much, and there was some footwork issues, and you saw receivers sometimes being hung out to dry. The ball is high, or the ball is in a spot where the receiver has to go and get it, and that left him open for taking a big hit. And I think that has improved a lot under Sam Bradford, and I think that will improve under Mark Sanchez. You could tell in this past game, they were definitely not on the same page, the receivers and Mark Sanchez. And there was a lot of things that they had to work out getting thrown into a game where, he doesn't get a lot of reps in practice. So I think this week you will see a more fluid passing game, and I think Mark Sanchez will look good. The question is, down the stretch, in the moments where the game is on the line, will he throw that fatal interception that he seems to always throw? It happened several times last year, and then it happened in this past game, and that's the thing you have to guard against. You want him to take what the defense is giving you, and don't take risky throws. Don't try to throw the ball in there into double coverage. Or if a receiver's not open, then check it down. Go somewhere else. And that's what you want to see out of Mark Sanchez, especially when the game is on the line.
Yeah, Mark Sanchez coming up in the clutch is most definitely the $16 million question. Let's switch from the offensive side of the football to the defensive side. Jordan Hicks was arguably the best defensive player in this. Fletcher Cox is. But Jordan Hicks was an enormous contributor to this Eagles defense. He's now out. Can you describe for us the adjustments that you're seeing in practice as far as the linebacker position goes?
Well, you said it. He made more big plays on defense, really, than anybody. I think Fletcher Cox and Malcolm Jenkins have done very, very well in this defense. But to see Jordan Hicks come in there as a rookie and do what he did, it was real impressive. And he made very big plays. You could say the difference in the game in Dallas was him returning the interception, which was a great read on his part. And right now you're dealing with more of D'Amico Ryans in the running game, and you'll see a mixture of Kendricks and Alonso out there. So I think Bill Davis is just mixing them up. He's trying to get Kiko Alonso back up to speed. Bill Davis said usually when you're out that long, it takes 3 games to get back to where you feel comfortable. So Kendricks had dealt with an injury, and then Alonso had dealt with an injury. D'Amico Ryans had dealt with an injury. So you've got these three guys all coming off injuries, really trying to find a way to play together and to try to build some camaraderie out on the field together. So I think you'll see that get better as it goes along. But they do miss Jordan Hicks. He was getting the majority of the snaps at inside linebacker, and he was leading the team in tackles. So that is a big loss. I do think that the inside linebacker position is a strength on this team when they all get healthy and all get back into the flow of the game.
Whenever that might be, if that's ever the case. But you made a good point. I saw you tweeted out the other day, Philly sports teams haven't won at home in nearly a month. Do you think that's starting to wear down on the players? Because you can clearly see it in the fans where they're just looking for something to grasp onto, and this Eagles team is the closest thing they have right now to a semi-respectable team.
Yeah, I mean, look, hey, the Flyers right now, I mean, they just can't score. They've got the fewest goals in hockey. The Sixers are basically going out there to lose. That's the plan that they have in place. So, do we expect the Sixers to do anything? No, but we could have expected something better from the Flyers. I did not expect them to be this impotent at scoring. And then with the Eagles, yeah, I mean, I do think we all look at the Eagles right now in our town as our best hope. And so when you have that win at Dallas and you get a little excited, and then you come home and you build a big lead on a Dolphins team that had, been on the road 3 straight games up in the Northeast. They could have packed it in, and I'm sure that's what the Eagles are thinking. And to see them lose that game, that was a bad loss. And I think a lot of people in Philadelphia are just kind of like, you know what, I don't believe in this team, and that's a shame because, like you mentioned, with the other teams, the Eagles are a really big hope at this point, our only hope in this town. So they have to win this game Sunday because it's all right there in front of them once again. Even though they're struggling, if they win, they're tied for the division lead. And if they lose this game, then all bets are off with everything. You could go to Detroit and lose, and then the season's pretty much over.
Don't you think at that point is when apathy starts settling in this city and it becomes a very, very dark place?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Especially for Thanksgiving around the holidays, that's not going to be good. But you know what? I do think they're going to go out and win this game. I think this week at practice, just sensing from the guys, they were real frustrated earlier in the week. Couldn't believe that they let that game slip away. And I do think that they are paying attention to details and their assignments. That's the key thing. Every guy paying attention to their assignments. They've had breakdowns in every phase of the game, defense, offense, special teams. And I do think they're really focused this week on getting back on track.
We're talking with Comcast Sportsnet and NBC10 anchor John Clark. John, for the first time in many years, this Eagles team is what we would call a defensive team. We haven't really been able to say that since Jim Johnson, and this defense is nothing close to that blitz. But Jameis Winston grew up an Eagles fan. It's probably going to be a little emotional, a little strange for him coming to Lincoln Financial Field and seeing all the green. And I want to know what you think the Eagles are going to do on the defensive side of the football to stop Jameis, because he's certainly a unique quarterback.
Well, it's going to be real tough for them to get to him and bring him down because he's one of those big quarterbacks like Ben Roethlisberger who can move around and he's hard to bring down. So I think it's going to be very hard to get pressure on him. And then on the back end, the Eagles defensive backs, they're going to be ready for opportunities to go up on jump balls because you see Jameis with his big receivers like Mike Evans and those guys. He's going to throw the ball up for those guys to go and get it, and he'll give those jump balls. And the Eagles defensive back, it's going to be crucial this week that when they know the ball is in the air, they know they have an opportunity to go and get it. Now they're going to be facing some big receivers, and so. In this situation, I do think the defense is going to have some chance for some interceptions, and you got to play the football. That's one of the things with the technique that they've been taught this year. You didn't see a whole lot of last year. You got to go play the football and know when it's in the air. And last year you saw too many times Bradley Fletcher and those guys. They were not playing the football. and you'd see pass interference penalties. You'd see them give up a big play. So there's opportunities this week for turnovers because they didn't have one last week. They're still tied for second in the NFL. But there's going to be chances this week, and that could be the difference in the game if the defensive backs can get some interceptions here.
Coming off a tough week last week and losing a tough game against the Dolphins, you hope the Eagles come out with a fire under their bellies to win this football game. We just talked to John Clark. He's an NBC10 anchor and an anchor for Comcast Sportsnet, and most importantly, a Temple grad. John, I want to thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, good luck with the show. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, John. Have a good one. Have a Thanksgiving.
Hey, you too. Have a great holiday.